Israeli opposition leader Yair Lapid has launched a petition campaign to gather signatures, aiming to pressure Netanyahu's government into establishing an inquiry into the Hamas-led attacks of October 7, 2023. Before a Knesset meeting, Lapid told reporters that the Israeli cabinet's decision to postpone the inquiry was an attempt to bury it. He argued that by delaying it for another 3 months, the government was signaling that no one at the political level was guilty or responsible for the events of October 7th, and that they don't want the public to know the truth.
Support of the people of Israel, and the deal has the overwhelming support.
Many displaced Palestinians have expressed outrage at U.S. President Donald Trump's recent remarks to having the U.S. take ownership of Gaza. Palestinians emphasized that Gaza is not a commodity to be claimed or traded. Palestinians vowed to never leave Gaza and rejected any notion of displacement or foreign ownership. Trump said that he was committed to buying and owning Gaza, but could allow sections of the war-ravaged land to be built by other states in the Middle East. In Lebanon, the Lebanese army has completed its deployment in the towns of Rab al-Thalathin, Talousa, and Bani Hayyan following the withdrawal of Israeli forces from the area. Lebanese soldiers have been conducting patrols, clearing dirt barriers and rubble from the roads. The army has also begun searching for bombs and unexploded ordnance in residential areas and along roads, urging residents to wait for clearance before returning home. Meanwhile, despite a ceasefire agreement with Hezbollah requiring an Israeli withdrawal, the Israeli military continues to occupy other parts of southern Lebanon. Syria's transitional president, Ahmed Fattouh, has announced that thousands of volunteers have joined the newly formed Syrian National Army following dissolution of his military and security forces. Fattouh stated that recruitment remains voluntary, avoiding the compulsory conscription imposed by the previous regime. He noted that many young men had fled Syria to escape forced military service. Fattouh has also renewed calls for the removal of Western sanctions, stating that economic growth is key to stabilizing Syria and preventing further insecurity. In Tehran, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian has questioned the United States' sincerity in engaging with Iran in negotiations while simultaneously imposing sanctions. His remarks come in response to the reinstatement of former U.S. President Donald Trump's maximum pressure policy. Pezeshkian criticized Washington's stance, asserting that Israel, not Iran, is the primary source of instability in the Middle East, sustained by U.S. support. He emphasized that Iran will not succumb to foreign pressure and is prepared to overcome its challenges independently. While reaffirming that Tehran does not seek conflict, he made it clear that Iran will resist economic warfare. In France, world leaders and technology executives have gathered in Paris to discuss the safe adoption of artificial intelligence amid growing global concerns. Momentum to regulate AI has slowed since previous summits in Britain and South Korea, where world powers focused on the technology's risks following ChatGPT's viral debut in 2022. Meanwhile, some European leaders, including French President Emmanuel Macron, are advocating for greater flexibility in the EU's new AI Act to support homegrown startups and foster innovation.
Ladies and gentlemen, this summit is a moment of...
Moving to Russia, Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov has said that there was not yet any agreement with the United States on high-level contacts between President Vladimir Putin and President Donald Trump. Speaking at a news briefing in Moscow, Ryabkov also said that the outlook for Russia-US talks on nuclear strategic stability did not look promised. But Ryabkov said that the U.S. wanted three-way arms talks, including China, while Moscow wanted five-way arms talks. Russia has said that it wants Britain and France, also nuclear powers, to be included in any new arms control talks. Meanwhile, Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov has stated that all of President Vladimir Putin's conditions for ending the conflict in Ukraine must be met before any settlement is possible. Ryabkov stated that the sooner the United States and the West recognize that all of Putin's conditions must be met, the sooner a settlement in Ukraine can be reached. On June 14, Putin outlined his terms for an immediate end to the war. Ukraine must abandon its NATO ambitions and withdraw its troops from the entirety of 4 Ukrainian regions that Russia claims and largely controls. Moving on to Iraq, where Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammad Shia al-Sudani has reaffirmed that his government is handling regional developments with wisdom, making decisive choices while avoiding rash decisions. He emphasized that Iraq's balanced approach has helped shield the country from external threats and conflicts. Sudani urged tribal leaders to take an active role in resolving disputes, upholding state sovereignty, and contributing to national progress. He also called for greater collaboration with security forces to ensure justice and strengthen national security.